Warning.
This show contains mature content. Listener discretion is advised.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
One angry New York City Puerto Rican decided to start a radio show, determined to piss the world off by shoving a mirror in front of society's face, kick them in the balls.
What are you? Who are you?
This is the Crotch Shot Radio Show. Crotch Shot Radio Show.
This is not a test. This is a broadcast transmission.
We're going to stay on the air.
And now, the Whippy.
And I forgot to unmute my mic. Welcome to the Crotch Out Radio Show, where we kick the issues in the balls. We are on an active war against bullshit. We would do anything and everything to expose bullshit. The ends sometimes justify the means. So if you're angry and want the truth exposed, then strap in and prepare to be shocked. This is Smash Mouth Talk. If you can't accept that, then fuck off. I'm your host, Louis B. I takes no bullshit from nobody. I actually expose the bullshit of society and chop it up into easy to digest chunks for you. Today won't be any different. Today, I am honored to have the High Priest of Kekistan himself.
Hey, man, how's it going?
The lovely, the talented Sargon-of-akaad. Sargon, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm really well, thank you.
Yeah, man. I like part of the reason why I had you on is because I mean you mentioned me in your recent video about male feminists. I actually did a show about male feminists being full of shit, pretty much. And in fact named the same thing as your video, Beware Male Feminist. So I mean the synchronicity is fantastic.
You know, someone left a comment on the video that just I wish I'd thought of it myself, because it summed up the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Predators go where the prey is.
That is true.
Isn't that just brilliant?
It is. I mean,
that's exactly what it is.
I mean, I've you know, like, I don't know how in depth you went with you know, with the research between me and Mo Fathelbob.
Not very. I only I went through a few articles.
Oh, okay. Well, he was accusing me of harassing women.
And it turns out it was projection.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it was funny because after this whole scandal, he wrote a article on Medium talking about how he was raped by his victim.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was like, oh, my life is hard in this country, being a queer Muslim, and...
I wouldn't even know.
Yeah. And, you know, and of course, when I did an interview on another podcast last year, I was like, I hope he doesn't get radicalized because of this.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that's always a worry.
Yeah, I mean, it just really upsets me because one of the people, like one of the women that were like really having his back, talking about because because being blamed for having the place shut down, which turned out it wasn't me that did it. It was another podcaster by the name of Jesse who does. Right. I forgot the name of the podcast. It escapes me. Something off the Pod Awful podcast. There you go, Pod Awful. Let's check him out. It was just hilarious how it all worked out. Like, the guy kicked me out back in March for saying, admittedly, they were sexist jokes. Like,
sure,
yeah. I mean, but it was an open mic, and it's called the Experiment Comedy Gallery. So I was being experimental at the Experiment Comedy Gallery, and I got kicked out because the guy was at the time the guy was doing business. He was trying to rent out the first venue that he had for a commercial, and the guy heard my jokes and got offended and ran out.
See, like, as soon as you include the term joke there, I just don't care. It's a joke. It's not serious. Don't take it serious.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but it was, admittedly, it's one of my raw ones. Like, in fact, it's kind of inspired by Stephen Carr.
I don't think I'm familiar with him.
He's a British comedian.
Stephen Carr.
Stephen Carr. It could be.
I'm not. Do you mean Jimmy Carr?
Jimmy Carr. Oh, it's Jimmy Carr. Yeah, Jimmy Carr.
Yeah. Oh, Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy Carr's. He's pretty edgy.
Yeah, Jimmy Carr. Like, because I was like, some of the insults that are thrown at women are just not accurate. Like, I wouldn't call a woman a bitch because female dogs are loyal. I would never call a woman a whore because that implies you get what you pay for. I wouldn't call a woman a slut because most women don't know how to fuck. And I would never, ever, ever, ever in my life call any woman a cunt because most women are neither pleasurable or they're neither. They're not. Damn, I forgot how it goes. They're neither deep nor pleasurable to be around.
Quite liking how woke these jokes are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm red pilled. I mean, that kind of happens when. That kind of happens when you're falsely accused of rape by, so that way her family doesn't find out that you caught her cheating on you with a lesbian. Yeah,
it's so low though, isn't it? I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it kind of made me hate women for many years.
I think honestly, there are probably a lot of guys out there who have been mishandled, not just in the way of accusations, but by the legal system itself.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them do kind of find themselves hating women generally, just because they're being mistreated and they're not being given a fair deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky it didn't get to I didn't get arrested. I did get beat up by her family and dragged to the police station. And the guy, she ended up having to recant because she was like, "Oh, he didn't use a condom. He finished inside of me." And like, okay, good, we could get DNA evidence.
Yeah, we can prove this one way or another.
Yeah, and she ended up having to recant and say he didn't do anything. And her family ended up accepting her for being a lesbian, but I still never gotten an apology.
Well, what can you do?
Yeah, so I mean, I just like chalk it up to me being lucky because I could have ended up like Brian Banks.
I don't know who that is, but you are right. It could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Brian Banks. He was a kid that he had consensual sex with a girl. And in order, I guess the girl, in order to save face, she told her mom that he raped her.
Right.
And they went to the police, and just on her word alone, he got convicted of rape, and he spent 8 years in prison. And
Jesus.
And he had a scholarship, American football scholarship. And he ended up losing that because of his conviction. When he got out, she even got like a huge settlement from the school system.
Christ.
She ended up spending all that up, of course.
So she literally had a financial incentive to lie to him.
Yeah, she got
to lie to the law. So.
Yeah, she sued the city of the state where she was in, and she got awarded all this money. Her and her mom got awarded all this money, and she ended up approaching him after he was released and say, "Hey, yeah, I'm sorry, I lied." And
holy fuck,
got her to say it on camera in front of his lawyer, and they finally exonerated him. But I mean, for him to piece his life back together and to try to get a football career and follow his dreams. I mean, he's still not a football player.
So, was there any punishment for her?
Of course not. I mean, not really, because they said, oh, well, she has to pay back the money, but she can't, so they're not gonna. It's not like they're gonna force her to.
Yeah, but she cost him 8 years of his life and his future career over a lie. I mean,
yeah,
you would think there would be some kind of fucking punishment for that shit.
Brian Banks. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. It's rare for women to even get get any justice. Yeah. And then you have people like in this article, he's like, wait, he's convicted again. Wait, what happened? Like, he was exonerated and all that.
Mm. That's just such an injustice, though. 8 years as well.
Yeah.
Man. And how old was he when he was convicted?
I believe he was 16.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
16. In fact, hold on. Let me read this is the Wikipedia, so that way
yeah. Goodbye to your youth, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's oh wait, he is playing football.
Okay. Good for him.
Okay, but here, in the summer of 2002, Branks was arrested and charged after a classmate, Juanetta Gibson, falsely accused him of dragging her into a stairway at Polytechnic High School and raping her. Faced with possible 41 years to life sentence, he accepted a plea deal that included 5 years in prison, 5 years of probation, and registering as a sex offender. Juanetta Gibson and her mother, Wanda Rhodes, sued the Long Beach Unified School District. He stood no chance at trial because he would have been tried by an all-white jury who would automatically assume that he was guilty because he was a big black teenager.
Man, that sucks.
In March of 2011, Gibson contacted Banks on Facebook, met with him, and admitted that she had fabricated the story. Banks secretly recorded Gibson's confession, but she refused to tell prosecutors that she had lied so she wouldn't have to return the money she and her family had won in court. Nevertheless, with Gibson taped admission and help from California Innocence Project attorneys, Los Angeles County prosecutors overturned Banks' conviction on May 24, 2012. On April 12, 2013, the Long Beach Unified School District announced it was suing Juanetta Gibson $2 million in an effort to recoup the $1.5 million she received, along with attorney fees and punitive damages. On June 14, 2013, the school district won a $2.6 million judgment against Gibson, which includes the $750,000 settlement initially paid to her, along with her attorney fees, interest, and $1 million in punitive damages. Banks now serves as spokesperson for the California Innocence Project and is working on a documentary on his story. Okay, so speaking about lawsuits, one of my listeners, they wanted me to ask you about that comedian chick that's suing you.
I don't want to talk about it publicly in case I say something that somehow fucks things up.
I
see.
Okay.
Afterwards, I'll talk about it though.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah.
But if she has a problem, hi, I'm Louis B, and you are a bitch.
Hey, I'm not saying a damn word.
No, and the views expressed by me are me alone, and not that of Sargon-of-Akaad. I would like to say, absolutely. I would like to say that what's her name, Miss Akilah Gibson, or wait.
Akilah Hughes, it is.
Akilah Hughes. First of all, I've seen your stand-up. You sound like a first-year open micer. Your jokes are just elementary at best. I mean, they're easy. They're easy, low-hanging fruit jokes. And I hate to sound like the "you're not funny." Use that because that's used against me all the time. You're not funny when no one has a real argument. But this is just accurate. She's really not funny. And the only laughs that you get are from people that have white guilt.
I wish I could say things, but I'm certainly keeping my mouth shut.
That's the only reason why you got guilt, because apparently they feel bad that your ancestors had to pick cotton for them in the South. Fuck you. Get a life. All right. There you go. Don't mess with my peoples. So, yeah. So back to male feminists. First of all, I mean, the thing that the part of the video that, like, aside from mentioning me, because I'm very narcissistic about it. It was really well researched. How like, this is something that I always wanted to, like, ask people like Steven Crowder and you and many other and even Mike Cernovich. You guys are very well researched. How are you able to find all this information? Because I know when I'm Googling and trying to search for stuff, it's just not happening.
I keep very well organized spreadsheets.
Mm-hmm.
So when I come across something interesting that I think I might need in future, I just save a link in a spreadsheet, and so then it's a lot easier to find things that form a consistent narrative of events. Because otherwise, it can get very difficult to find things. Things get lost on the internet somewhere, and then it can be really difficult to identify it anywhere, because the search terms can be broad. So yeah, if you see something come past your feed that looks like it might be relevant in future, definitely save it. That's my advice.
I see. Yeah, because I mean, how long did it take you to come? Because it was a huge list. Because when I did it, I mean, of course, I talked about James Dean, and but your list was huge.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the thing that kind of annoys me about it is that I think a lot of them, well, okay, not a lot of them, but a sizable minority of these male feminists who are being accused, I don't think they did anything wrong. A lot of them, I think there are probably a lot of false accusations in there, but the sort of ethos for the male feminists, and for the female feminists as well, obviously, is that you just have to believe women when they make an accusation.
Exactly.
And it's just like, well, then you're fucked, aren't you, buddy?
Yeah.
Why did you just sign up to something that's literally like a sword of Damocles hanging above your head, and you're just waiting for the hair to snap and it will go straight down into you? You signed up for that willingly, so, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember I was doing an open mic, and there was, like, a question and answer part of it, and, after I did that particular set that I did earlier, they're like, oh, do you think women shouldn't have equal rights? I'm like, of course they should have equal rights.
Yeah.
Then you're a feminist. I'm like, I would rather die of AIDS than be considered a feminist. And it made a girl cry.
Really?
Yeah. It made a girl
Holy
cry
shit.
because she's like, I have friends that died of AIDS, and it's horrible. Why would you do that? I'm like, first of all, like, even though I want equal rights for women, it doesn't mean, because the thing is, when it comes to feminists, we also got to accept them for their horrible behavior.
Yeah.
And being someone that has grown up, what the hell is grown? Grown up, in New York, and where, as Tom Likas would call it, the home of the ball busting bitch. And it's true. It's true. I mean, I've seen guys who are model caliber get rejected in very disrespectful ways because women are very narcissistic here. They take it as a badge of honor. Oh, I curved this dude. And then now they're 45 and dried up, and they still don't got a man.
Yep.
And now they want to do this whole body shaming thing.
The problem that I have with feminism is I don't think women are being oppressed by men. That's just I just don't believe it. And if you don't believe that, you can't be a feminist.
Oh yeah, because I mean, look, like this whole slut shaming thing.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, the only slut shaming I ever hear is from women doing it to other women.
Oh hell yeah! When women slut shame ferociously,
yeah,
as a way of tearing down competition and keeping one another in check. There's no sisterhood. These women are in competition with each other for men, and so slut shaming is. I mean, they're fierce. They're just no holds barred in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So
frankly, I'm glad I don't have to go through it, and it's not really men doing it.
Sargon, why don't you, if you don't like women so much, why don't you be gay? Oh, Jesus.
I've actually got a friend. I did a podcast with him the other day, and he was just like, "Man, I'm not gay because I like men. I'm gay because I fucking hate women." I was just like, Jesus Christ. But I'm married, so I'm probably going to get there eventually.
Oh, well, there you go. Don't leave that. Like I told my friend who got married 2 years ago, do not leave her. Do not get divorced. Don't do it. Don't do it. It sucks out here. Dating stinks.
And the cost of a divorce is in America. I think it's worse than in Britain as well, and it's not good in Britain. Yeah. So but yeah, I wouldn't want to date in New York. I tell you.
Oh yeah, no. It's just like what I've come across now is women quote me a price before I even talk to them on the phone. and that means, and what I mean by that is like, hey, can I get your number? Oh, can I borrow $500? I'm kind of in I've gotten that. I'm in a bind, or I'm in a shelter right now. Can I borrow some money so I could buy some food for my kids? Wait a minute, kids wasn't even in your profile.
Yeah, I think I'd swipe left or whatever it is.
And it's like, and then they try.
Oh, sorry. Hang on a second. Sorry.
All right. Do 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 do. Hey guys, if you're listening, please hit that like button. However you're listening, and definitely check out Sargon-of-akaad on his YouTube channel. In fact, go to youtube.com/sargon-of-akaad100. So his stuff is fantastic, very well researched. He doesn't have a Twitter anymore, but you could follow him on the Facebooks for now, and definitely check out his Patreon. Boy needs to eat, so he's coming back, and he's back. And by the way, if you're Akilah Hughes, and if you know Akilah Hughes, tell her go kill herself, please. Thank you.
Don't do that on my behalf. Sorry about that. My kid's 2, and sometimes he wakes up in the middle of the night crying. And...
Oh, well, it happens.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I don't got kids,
Oh, it's amazing. I absolutely love my son, but
okay.
It's a pain when I'm recording late at night.
oh, sorry.
Oh no, don't worry about it. But yeah, what were we saying? Fucking divorce. Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah, no. I'm telling him, like, do not, like, you stay with her forever.
Yeah.
Dating, like, forget. I'm not even talking about the whole divorce, him losing half his crap. I'm talking about having to date again. Oh my God. Like, like, if it wasn't for the fact that, like, my DNA screams for vagina, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
Man, I'll tell you what, I'm not envious of people who date at all. Especially the way things are going, like the sort of far left radical types who are taking over the concept of like just male female interactions. I mean, didn't they have some sort of fucking consent app or something like that come out? And it's like, holy shit, I mean, I'm 38, and when I was dating, it was just normal.
Yeah.
It was just regular.
Oh, I mean, especially now, and I have a funny story about that. Like, women now, they put, if you voted for Trump, swipe left. So I hooked up with this one girl like 3 weeks ago, from Plenty of Fish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was dumpster diving. I'm not gonna lie, she wasn't really the prettiest, but she had a hot pocket, so I was like, okay. I picked her up at her job at Chicago Uno, which is
I don't know what that is.
What?
I don't know what that is. Sorry.
Oh, it's kind of a chain pizza place in the vein of like TGI Fridays and stuff.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but they serve like Chicago style deep dish pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
And she was a Chicago style deep dish type of girl, if you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I take her back to my place. We get it popping. Everything's fine and dandy. We're lying in bed. I stupidly let it slip that I am a Trump supporter, and I started singing a song that I made about Hillary. Hillary for prison, throw her ass in jail. Hillary for prison, and she got really offended. She's like, I can't believe I just sucked your dick. You should have told me that before I swallowed. I feel disgusted now. So she puts on her clothes and leaves my apartment, and I live in downtown Manhattan. And this was at 1:30 in the morning, and she has a long trip to Brooklyn to go on the subway. So she basically risked her own life to get away from me.
Just because you voted Trump.
Just because I voted Trump. And I wasn't mad because I got...
Well, you just got your dick sucked, didn't you? So
Yeah.
It's not, what's to be mad about?
Yeah. And when she left, I shut off the lights and I went to sleep. And I'm like, well, I hope she gets home okay.
Yeah. Oh, dear. I tell you what, man, the political environment in America is just toxic as hell. I just can't get over how... I mean, I just watch all of the media from both sides, and there is no consideration of legitimacy from either side to the other side. Neither side could admit that either side has not even like, they're not entirely right, but like one or two things they might be saying might be correct. Neither side wants to concede either of it, and so it's like, right, okay, so both sides think the other side is completely wrong on everything. It's like, right, what are you gonna do?
When it comes to the left, though, like, this is like one of the arguments I hear. Oh, well, his father gave him $1 million. I'm like, yeah, if I had money like that and I had a son, I would give him $1 million to start a business.
Yeah, he turned it into $4 billion or something, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, and it was a loan. First of all, just because your father is broke and didn't give a crap about you and didn't build wealth so that way he could pass it on to his kids like you're supposed to do, doesn't mean he's a bad... What was he supposed to do? No, Dad, I'm not going to take $1 million from you?
Yeah, of course he's going to do it. I mean, it's ridiculous to suggest he shouldn't. And the fact that he capitalized on it as well, it's okay. Good for him.
I mean, it's like the problem with the left is they try to make a scandal out of something that isn't wrong. Like, oh, he drinks Coke. Okay.
He has 2 scoops of ice cream.
Oh my God! What
a monster!
Yeah.
What a bastard! I mean,
yeah.
That's just a warning sign right there.
It's
first
like,
it's 2 scoops of ice cream. Next, it's beheading cats behind a dumpster.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, they're nuts. They're absolutely nuts. Like, this is the thing. I always consider myself very centre left. I mean, I'm in Britain. I mean, we've got universal healthcare, and I think it's a good thing. And I'm not against guns, but I'm not really a fan of guns, And I can see the argument from pragmatism about not having guns, even if it's not one made in principle. It does reduce the number of gun deaths if you have less guns around. And and so these things I can accept. And if I do political test, it puts me centre left. I'm like, okay, fine, but I'm still like I'm like an English liberal. I think the free market's a good thing. I think freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom of thought, all of these things. The right to be left alone, all this. But the left these days have just turned into a bunch of just socialists, and they don't think anything like I think. They don't agree with any of these things.
Yeah.
They want to control you. They want to stop you from doing things. They want to control how you think, how you speak, how you spend your money. And it's like, okay, I don't agree with any of that.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it like more like they're cultural Marxists now?
Well, the term cultural Marxism is not a useful one, because when the right uses the term cultural Marxism, it has conspiratorial undertones, and what they really mean is just intersectional social justice. It's exactly the same term, just that's the term the left uses. So the right should just use it themselves, because it is entirely Marxist. There's no getting around it. You don't need to. I mean, it is an accurate thing to call it cultural Marxism, but it's also accurate to just call it intersectional social justice. That's what you're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, and also it just seems like again. I mean, I'm a Puerto Rican, so that whole which is hilarious because their whole "you're a white supremacist" narrative does not work on me. In fact, I've gone after an Antifa guy online. His name is Spencer Sunshine,
right?
Who's paid for by the Ford Foundation. I will be going into that soon. I'm still
right. Okay.
Yeah, but he's called out. He's try to put out hits on patriots. Really? Yeah. I mean, there's a video of him at a socialist bookstore in Brooklyn, naming names and talking about how they need to be resisted by any means necessary. And of course, he doesn't do his own. He doesn't do his own dirty work. And anyone who disagrees with him is an anti-Semite. And I'm waiting for him to even talk about me, because I mean, I know you've seen a picture of me. I'm pretty dark skinned. I
did see you didn't look that dark skinned to me, but I was a small picture. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously not a pale by any means. You know,
the proper terminology is you're not white passing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the ideology inside out at this point.
And on top of that, if he calls me an anti-Semite, I could always produce a picture with me in a yarmulke when I was
Oh, you Jewish?
Well, no, I'm not. I am. I was a groomsman at my best friend's wedding.
Ah, right, okay.
And I thought I looked fantastic in the yarmulke. In fact, the rabbi was like, "Oh, well, if you convert, you could wear it all the time." And I'm like, well, I was raised Jehovah's Witness, and so I don't think my mom would appreciate that. She's like, oh, I know all about Jehovah's Witnesses. You're practically halfway Jewish.
See, I'm glad I'm an atheist, to be honest. You know, I've never, my parents aren't religious at all, and so I was never raised religious in any way. Yeah. And it is just such a simpler life. I don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah, I mean, being, well, I'm not one, because I
I'm not, it's okay if you are. I mean, I'm not like some sort of militant anti-theist or something.
No, I'm just saying, but I I'm not one because, I didn't take to it. But, I still don't celebrate Christmas or birthdays or my birthday to this day. And it just freaks people out.
That's weird, not celebrating Christmas or your birthday.
Well, I mean, because Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate their birthday.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I mean, or Christmas, because Christmas has nothing to do with Christ.
That's true.
And even still, we don't know when he was really born. Even though,
well, it's presumably sometime in the summer. I mean, shepherds watching their flocks by night. Do they do that in the dead of winter?
No, and of course some astronomers said that it, because of the position of the stars, and it's just so even so to this day, since I've never celebrated it, it really makes no sense for me to celebrate it when I really don't believe he was born on December 25th.
Oh, obviously not. Yeah. It's all just pagan myths co-opted to basically persuade people to join Christianity, I think.
Yeah. I mean, and also, and of course, going with Jehovah's Witness doctrine, according to the Bible, he said, remember me. They have a memorial for Christ's death. And that's, they talk about why his sacrifice was significant, what hope it brings, and all that. So, I mean, that's how I was raised. And birthdays, it's, Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate birthdays. So, I've never... I never had a birthday party, so it's just like it makes no sense for me to celebrate now, because I think I think it's like it's really it's for children. Like honestly, if you're gonna have a birthday party, I managed to survive another year. Woo.
Well, I mean, like over here, it's just an excuse to go out and get drunk.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah, I don't drink, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm kind of boring. I'm kind of a radical Muslim like that. I do not drink. No. So, So,
Okay.
yeah.
I actually don't drink very often, to be honest. I'm very light when I drink. I get drunk very easily because I don't do it very often.
Right. Right. I mean, my only vice is the diet soda, so I'm trying to get off of that. Oh man. But it's like, why are the left so intolerant? Like, to me, it just seems like they're so afraid of other people's ideas, of words. Like,
they are.
I mean, I'm more afraid of intent, of physical intent. But if someone's on the corner saying spick, 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 I'm be like, well,
have fun.
He's weird, and
yeah. I
mean, I wish he could go fuck himself, but other than that, God bless.
Yeah, I think it comes down to them being totalitarians. Actually, they want control of everything. I mean, you'll notice there's literally nothing that they don't want to have control over. I mean, like I'm a massive nerd. I'm a total fucking geek, and I play the card games, the tabletop games, all the nerdy shit, computer games, everything.
What you think? What you think of the Doctor Who Christmas special?
Oh, I'm actually not a fan of Doctor Who.
What kind of Brits are you?
My wife is, and she fucking hates that it's a female Doctor Who next.
Oh, but I wanted to make this joke so bad, but at the end when the Doctor regenerates into a woman, she falls out of the TARDIS, and I'm like, okay, Matt Smith didn't fall out the TARDIS. The other Doctors didn't fall out of the TARDIS. The one woman, when he becomes a woman, she falls out the fucking TARDIS, which proves women can't drive for shit.
Do you know what cracks me up about the Star Wars movie? Is that they've got women controlling the rebel forces, whatever it is, the resistance, whatever they call themselves, and they just end up losing completely. Everyone dies apart from a handful who run away and dissipate in to carry out a rebellion at some time in the future. It's like, so you're saying that the patriarchy wins? Well, that's a good reason to join the patriarchy, isn't it? I want to be on the winning team. I don't want to be with a bunch of losers who get wiped out. Christ.
Yeah, Rogue One. She gets stuck on she can't be saved. She gets killed.
I actually didn't see Rogue One because it looked really boring. I saw a screenshot for it, and it was just like dull green and grey, and I was just like, yeah, this looks fucking awful. And but everyone was saying it's actually the best of the new ones, so maybe I'll check that out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, ever since Disney took it over and they
I fucking hate Disney.
Like, I mean, the fact of the matter is, they, like, the problem with Doctor Who, Star Wars, and a lot of even the fucking Marvel movies, which they started off fantastic, they all get infected with this whole social justice warrior agenda. And it just pisses me off because they sacrifice story in order to just appease like groups that like would see the movie anyway. Like I would
or don't. Like, that's the thing. Like a lot of these things, like the Star Wars movie, something like 65% of the audience was white and male, and then about 30% of it was. Or like 20% of it was white and female, and they're sat there harping on about diversity. It's like, it's a bunch of white people watching this movie. The people who you think you're appealing to. I mean, is Star Wars big in the black community? No, I don't know. Not really. Not by the metrics we have. Anyway. I
mean, maybe when Billy D. Williams was in it, like the whole Colt 45 works every time.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It's like
you don't know that, huh?
No, I don't. Sorry, it's a cultural reference I don't get. But this is the thing, though. It's like they want control of everything, man. I mean, like, there's a fucking tabletop game about, like, a nerdy sci-fi thing where you literally roll dice and measure to move little lead miniatures or plastic miniatures across a fucking tabletop. And the feminists want control of this as well. And it's like, holy fucking shit. Like, if you can find a woman who plays this game, good luck. Just good fucking luck. I mean, I used to play it a lot when I was a kid, and obviously we used to hang out with loads of girls, and they would literally hate it when we'd go and play this game. They'd be like, oh, no, it's so boring and nerdy, and we were like, yeah, it is, get used to it. Yeah. They didn't want to play it. They had no interest in it. And now the feminists are like, oh, we need female representation in your space marines, and it's like, no, you don't. You do not need female representation in this at all. You're full of shit. It's just about control.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Well, yeah, I mean, I forgot what comedian said this, but it's like, women, it just comes down to the fact that women don't trust us to be on our own.
Yeah, there is a lot of that. I'm absolutely. They think like some evil boys club's gonna come around, and it's like, nah, it's just gonna be guys just trying to just relax.
Yeah,
that's it.
They're like, oh, why do men need a man cave? Because you fucking fagged up the rest of the house.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. My wife is banned from my office. She's not allowed in it. She's like, I can come in and hoover up. I'm like, no. No. If this place ever needs cleaning, and I will be the person who decides to give it the annual clean, it'll be me who does it because it's my fucking space. You know, don't get me wrong, I love my wife, but she's got the whole rest of the house. Mm-hmm. You know, do you think I haven't put a single fucking picture up anywhere else in the house? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, none of it's my decoration. And I don't resent her for it, but my God, I'm not giving an inch in my office because it is my man cave, and it'll be exactly as I want it, as messy or as tidy as I want. You know, it's no one else's decision. Goddammit, it's sovereign territory. And it will be that's what it is.
And it'll be passed down to my son. And when he comes in, I will lift him up into the sunlight and see everywhere every dust particle touches will be your domain when I'm gone.
Dude, that's exactly what it is. My son is the only person allowed in here. he loves sitting. I've got 2 monitors, so when I'm working, you know, researching stuff and stuff like that, he'll come and sit on my knee and watch just, you know, kids cartoons, you know, fucking Thomas the Tank Engine and Fireman Sam and all that sort of stuff while I'm working, and he's the only person allowed in, and that's it.
Oh man, the Thomas the Tank Engine, the only era that I will ever accept as legitimate is when George Carlin was Mr. Conductor.
Holy shit, really? I didn't know about that.
You didn't know George Carlin was Mr. Conductor?
No, that's amazing. I'm going to look for that. Hang on.
I have just educated sargon-of-akaad.
Oh, dude, I did not know. I fucking love George Carlin as well. Oh, that. Yeah, I'm gonna download a bunch of that and watch that.
Of course, he doesn't.
Yeah, of course.
He doesn't. Yeah, but Shining Time Station, he was Mr. Conductor.
That's great. That's fantastic. But you know, it's interesting, though, isn't it? Like going back to the whole the sort of like safe spaces for men, I guess you could call it, right?
Yeah.
If you were going to use their terminology, like a man cave, it's like a man's safe space. But it's amazing how, like, you get all this, well, we need safe spaces for women and minorities. It's like, okay, but why can't men have safe spaces if that's the case? And I'm not, you know, I want my man cave sort of thing, but I don't want to tell people how they have to live. You know, I would never go to, like, you know, a woman-only gym or something and say, no, you've got to have men in this. You've got to have men in this. This is unacceptable. You know, I would never do that. But then, I mean, in Britain, you used to get a lot of working men's clubs, and they were literally just for, like, working class men who had been, you know, labouring all day, and they wanted to go and have a beer with their friends without their missus and without their wives. And it's like, and that's all illegal now. You can't do that. And it's like, why? Yeah. Why? What's wrong with that? Is that so bad?
Well, again, because women are afraid. They're afraid that we might you know, force them to you know, get out of society, and it'll become Saudi Arabia here if we had our own. That's why the Boy Scouts of America, they have to introduce girls, and you know, and the Girl Scouts are kind of pissed off that the Boy Scouts are accepting girls because now they have to compete. They're competing. They're competing. Yeah. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, because the girl that joined, she makes a good argument. The Girl Scouts don't have survivalist training classes like the Boy Scouts do. Mm-hmm. They have all these lame ass, like, girly stuff that, hey, if she wants to learn how to build a campfire, teach her how to build a fucking campfire.
Oh yeah, I'm not against that at all. But, like, I bet there aren't queues of boys queuing up to try and get into the Girl Scouts, are there?
Oh yeah, no, it's like, why? Well, I mean, the thing is, we still have quality control a little bit when it comes to males, like you know that, and what I mean by that is, like, if especially with my friends, if you do something slightly gay, you get called a faggot real quick.
Oh yeah, it's like, but I mean, that's like just masculine gender roles. Yeah. But it is interesting how, like,
toxic masculinity, Sargon.
Yeah, exactly, right? It fucking is. It's like, but hey, notice how they never have anything that's just like good or regular masculinity. It's always toxic masculinity. It's like, yeah, because what you're saying is just that you find masculinity toxic. It's not that there's a version of masculinity you hate. It's just you hate masculinity. That's what it is. And I've seen loads of articles and think pieces by far leftists where they're just outright saying that. They're like, it's not toxic masculinity, it's just masculinity. And it's like, oh, get fucked. You know, if that's your problem, then get fucked. I don't owe you a damn thing, you know?
Yeah, like, it's like, look, I accept my response. Like, I've said this once, like, women, mostly women nowadays, like feminists, they want to be like Blade. They, you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, well, like the Wesley Snipes character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want all the strengths and privileges of being a man with none of the responsibility.
I'll tell you, there are precious few privileges left as well.
Yeah, I mean, and Bill Burr, he really he illustrated.
He nails it, doesn't he?
He nails it before he got married, and now he's an SJW. God damn it!
Fuck, he got cucked.
Yeah, he got.
God damn, man.
Yeah, it's like when
he used to be the best as well. Just calling it like it was. It's like.
Yeah, but now his wife, you know, you'll hear him on his podcast. His wife will call him out, like, "Oh, please." I'm like, "Oh God, really, dude?" Really?
Yeah, and you can't just. This is the thing, right? My wife, she's not like most other women. I know that a lot of people will say that, but she fucking hates feminists. She fucking hates feminists, and she can accept that. You know, I want my man space. You know, where this is, you know, my fucking space. She doesn't mind me hanging out with my guy friends. She's not threatened by it. You know, and it's. That's one of the reasons I'm married. You know, but I know that there are just so many women who can't deal with that, and it's like that's your problem. It's not his problem. It's your problem. And you've got to get over it.
Yeah, it's just like women have their own spaces. It's like, it's time to move over, boys. Like, you know, in every commercial, move over, guys. Like, okay, we're always moving over. And now we have only one little corner of the bed. Yeah. We're about to fall off the edge.
It's true, though. It's true. And the thing is, it's like, I mean, it's hard not to view it as an attack on men.
Yeah.
You know, because it really seems like an attack on men, and it's constant, and it's in the media, and men never complain as well. Men never complain about any of these things. They would never even vaguely think. They would never be entitled enough to think that they deserve some kind of like advocacy group. You know, I mean, like feminists are a women's advocacy group. They openly say, you know, we're here for women. It's like, okay. And who's here for men? Well, no one, obviously. I mean, no man is ever going to be like, well, I want an advocacy group. It would be shameful. You know, it's embarrassing. You're just like, no, you know, I can handle it. But at the end of the day, it looks like we're losing ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, oh, goodness. Oh, wow, I forgot the point I was trying to make. I know I did a show about, oh, man, okay, I forgot.
It's all right. But and the thing is, though, right, like, after saying this, you know the first thing they're going to come out with? Shaming. And it's like they're going to go, oh, what, are you not a real man? It's like, bitch, you hate real men. You know, you're a feminist. You hate real men. So don't shame me for saying, look, I'm actually a person with feelings and I feel like I'm under attack. Don't fucking shame me for that. Yeah. You know, you're always saying, oh, men never talk about their feelings. Okay, well, I'm talking about my feelings and now you don't like it.
Yeah. It's like you can't have it both ways. I mean, and that's the point. It's like, oh, men don't want to talk about their feelings, but the moment we do, shut the fuck up. Stop. If you don't like it, be gay.
Yeah. And like, and that's the least bad of it, you know. And it's such a fucking double standard. And
now I remember. A few weeks ago, a couple months ago, I did a show where, you know, this is just me stating an opinion. It wasn't backed by any sources or anything.
Sure.
Because I personally believe like this whole push for pegging, which is a woman taking a strap to a man's bottom.
I'd never even heard of that.
Oh, you know, when a woman puts on a strap on and fucks.
Oh, well, yeah, I know there are guys that like that sort of thing, apparently, but I didn't know it's called pegging.
Yeah,
it's good to know. Thanks.
Cuckolding.
Yeah.
And I believe, open relationships. I believe those things are an attack on masculinity, an attack on the family.
They're a direct attack on masculinity.
I mean, as a libertarian, I don't believe that the government should outlaw it. I don't believe I should. No. I don't believe I have the right to go out and physically get violent with someone that likes to do that. But I don't. I believe that these types of things, like having a man bend over, even like, okay, fine, if he likes it, fine, have at it, mazel tov. But it just really seems that the cultural push for this to be acceptable, like, oh, we're trying to push it to be normalized. Oh, having open relationships, having a woman getting an extra lover and sharing a girlfriend or whatever.
It's an attack on masculinity. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's an attempt to just emasculate men. And I mean, like you say, obviously I'd never advocate for it being banned or government interference or anything like that. But just, myself as a man, I would, if I was with a woman if she even suggested it, I would probably be like, well, this is the end of the relationship, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Yeah, no, of course. I wouldn't stand for
the idea that you think I would debase myself by permitting this, it's, you go and date a male feminist. And the thing is, right, honestly, there's a part of me that thinks that all this is a giant fucking shit test anyway. I don't think any woman really wants a man who actually does that. I think that what she wants is for you to stand up and say, no, you're not going to do that. And if you do that, I'm just going to leave, no questions asked. Yeah. And this is the end of the discussion, and that's it. I think that a lot of women would. I think it's just a test, see if you are a man or not. To be honest.
Well, that's the thing.
Again, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and really, it's funny because they speak out against how men or toxic masculinity, and they go and they try to shame men for normal masculine male behavior. Yet when a guy or one of these soy boys comes up to them, they get drier than the Sahara Desert. So
they're not into it.
Like, what the fuck? What the fuck do you want?
Oh, we know, actually. There are studies. And the feminists hate these studies because it turns out that women want tall, financially successful, muscular men. And it's like, what, still? Really? Can you believe it? Evolution has equipped you to want these things, and somehow women still go for it. It gets them wet. It's like, wow. But this is the thing. It's about, I genuinely...
And if you're fat and short... You should know how to fix shit because that gets in their pants too.
Damn right it does. And no, it does. It legit does.
Like, because I helped this chick fix her doorknob. Like I went in with the screwdriver, bada bing, bada boom, and yes, we actually say that in Brooklyn.
No, I believe you.
Got it done.
Some stereotypes are true.
Got it done, and it's. She was wet, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm handy.
Yeah, no, dude. My wife loves it when I put furniture together. As stupid as that fucking sounds, she fucking goes nuts for it. It's like, okay, I don't particularly like putting furniture together, but I see that there's an upside to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, maybe she's more attracted she's attracted to the focus that you put into it, and that's like, oh wow, he's deep in thought trying to fix that. Squish, squish.
I don't even know if it's that. I think. No? I think that a lot of women, not all women, obviously. Fucking Jesus, lest I say every woman that's ever lived, but I think a lot of women just like to see men doing things. I think they expect the men to do things, and when a man's actually doing things, taking control and making something happen, fixing something, solving a problem, whatever it is, I think there's an evolutionary psychology sort of perspective on it, where that's what they're looking for in a provider, a mate. They think, right, that's a man fulfilling the male gender role. And there was this woman called Nora. I can't remember her name now, but she was quite a masculine looking woman, a lesbian woman. And so what she did is I think it was something like 6 months or 9 months or something. She got a makeup crew to make her look like a man, and she was quite convincing. But
I've seen this video.
Yeah, a bit effeminate, right?
Yeah.
And she was saying how she went on a bunch of dates with women and stuff, and she was just like, women want men to be men. That was the primary thing she came away with. It's like, gender roles exist because women want them, and men are like they are because women want that. And she found it more difficult to be a man than a woman, which is very interesting. I think there's a lot to it, and I think it's evolutionary. I think it goes right back to primeval days when we were living in caves and it was difficult to survive.
Yeah, I mean, you had to put stuff together with your bare hands, and having that skill. I mean, I wouldn't consider this, feminine, but I know how to cook.
Well, sure, everyone should know how to cook.
Yeah, I cook for myself, and
Sure.
especially nowadays, since most women can't cook to save their lives. And they come over to my place and they see me with the Ninja blender, and I'm making I make my own condiments. Because I'm
don't laugh. That's awesome. Honestly, there's nothing wrong with cooking.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm a diabetic, and like a lot of stuff they don't make sugar free, and I don't want to use these artificial sweeteners that they use.
Yeah.
I use stevia, which is fantastic, and it's it tastes good to me. I make my own ketchup. I make my own.
Really?
I make my own French dressing. Yeah, you can find the recipes online, and you just substitute the sugar for stevia, and to me it tastes better.
Right, okay. Because I mean, I actually quite like cooking, because then I can make the meal exactly as I prefer it.
Yeah.
So I mean, my wife, because we've got a really traditional relationship. She does most of the housework, and she cooks and takes care of the kids, and I work. But on the occasions where she's not cooking, I like cooking because I get to make the meal exactly as I want. Because she's, I don't want to criticize her cooking, because I know it's something that she's concerned about, Right. And so I don't want to tell her I don't like it or something. I don't appreciate it. But I tell you, it is nice to be able to make a spaghetti bolognese the way I want it, because she never puts enough salt in the pasta.
Oh.
You know what it's like.
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend, I would just kick her out of my kitchen. Like, no. She's like, but I want to cook. Get the fuck out my kitchen.
Yeah.
Sit down, relax. I got this. Yeah. You're not doing nothing.
Yeah. I know. I totally feel you, man.
So, but the thing is, when I've had chicks over here and they're like, because I make, I do Puerto Rican cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
So when I make my Puerto Rican yellow rice, it just women like, what? You know that you could, like, you clean for yourself. You're a grown up. Kind of turns women on.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And like being like independent minded is attractive, I think. I think that's something women are into. Because I mean, being a dependent mama's boy is just. I mean, I'm not a woman. I'm not attracted to men, but that really turns me off of a man.
Yeah. Just
being some soft little mama's boy who needs someone to fucking wipe his ass and do his fucking laundry and shit. It's like, for fuck's sake, man.
I mean, I do call my mom for advice. Like, hey, Ma, how do you make this?
Oh yeah, sure.
How do you? Can I get the recipe for sofrito, or which is a sauce that you use to flavor?
Yeah. But that's taking advice from an expert. That's not being dependent.
But since you're married, how does your? Oh man, what was the question I was gonna say? You said your wife hates feminism and all.
Oh
that.
yeah.
How does she feel about your views on like gender roles? I mean, how did
on what? Sorry, gender roles?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess my views on gender roles are that they're probably inevitable. I think gender roles are just something that people do, whether they want to or not. And she's just normal. My wife's she likes being a woman, she likes being a wife, and she thinks that's got a specific role to it. And I'm happy for her to do that. It works for me. But I would never tell her she had to do something. But she wants to do these things. This is what just what she likes, and it's like, okay. I mean, I don't have any particularly outlandish views on gender roles, really. I mean, the thing is, like, I'm a very much live and let live kind of guy. If you've got a guy who wants to stay home and look after the kids when the wife goes out and works, hey, you do whatever the hell works for you. I don't care, But don't tell me that I can't do what works for me,
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, like, if the man is not working and basically being the hunter-gatherer, I don't see how it works out. Because, I mean, especially, even though women are like, oh, yeah, I want to be independent, I want to work, I want this, if my man wants to stay home, he can. They don't respect him still.
Yeah.
They don't give, they would still not give him that respect, like, of him taking care of the kids and doing what would be typically his role. I mean, it would even in feminist comedies that is viewed as a joke.
Yeah,
they make fun of that.
It's because men always describe themselves by what they do. When I mean, like you speak to a man and say, "Hey, what'd you do?" Like he's not going to tell you about how he decorated his house, even though that might have literally been the last thing he did. He's going to tell about his job. You know, men have always defined themselves by their job, and it's a point of identity to men to describe themselves by their job traditionally, anyway. And it's not for women. You know, most women don't generally do that. But I mean, things might be changing. But even like you say, like when I read an article by this woman who said that she had a job that was significantly higher paying than her husband. So when they had kids, she was like, well, I'll go out and work while you look after the kids. And in this article, it was fascinating, this article, actually. It was really interesting. Because she initially was okay with it. You know, she was like, okay. And then she found that she started to really resent her husband because she'd come back from this stressful, high-paying corporate job, and he would be like fresh-faced, playing around with the kids. You know, the kids were running around the house, and he's like making dinner. For him, it was easy. He was just having a good time. And so he didn't think anything of it. And she would come back, and she'd be sat there, she'd be exhausted, and she would just find herself resenting her husband. And then she was realizing she wasn't attracted to him at all, because he wasn't being a man. And it was just like, well, you know, I could have said I told you so. But, you know, I think it's healthier if the men work. But again, I would never say you can't do something. If it works for you, great. But it would not work for me.
It's just amazing. Like even when she and this is the thing I've and I hate the fact that this has turned into a woman bashing show.
It's not woman bashing. That's the thing. It's just being honest about what things are really like. You know?
Yeah. I mean, like it's kind of funny. She gets what she wants, and she's still not happy. I mean, it reminds me of this former female friend I had. Mm-hmm. She was like, "Oh, we can never be romantic with each other. Let's just be friends." And I'm like, "Okay, fine. You know, I like your company. You're cool people. Fine, whatever." Mm-hmm. The moment a woman came up to me and started chatting me up,
she gets jealous.
She gets upset. Yeah. And she yelled at me saying, "How can you say you want to be with me and you talk to other girls immediately after I tell you no?"
Because you're not interested, bitch.
Like, I'm like, we weren't dating. How long do I have to wait before I'm allowed to talk to other people?
Why should she even think she's got some sort of control over your behavior if she's like, "I'm not interested in you"? Yeah. That's so weird, isn't it? But I mean, obviously it's not. You know, it's not that she thought that there was nothing there. But this thing, right? You know, I don't want to be woman bashing. The thing is, right? There are real problems with gender roles in the West at the moment. You know, just gender relations in the West. You know, men and women are having a more and more difficult time dealing with each other, and the feminists are not helping anything. You know, these people have been. I mean, the stated goals of feminism is to destroy gender roles. And it's like, yeah, but you guys don't seem to understand. Men and women are different. You know, we have gender roles to facilitate relationships between men and women, and not even like, you know, sexual or romantic relationships. Just normal relationships. You know, like you know that you're supposed to open the door for a woman. You know, it's part of the gender role, and many women will still expect that. They will think you're being impolite if you don't do it. There's no romantic involvement there, but it's a way of men and women dealing with each other because women know that men, you know, some men aren't good men and will do bad things, and they, you know, performing in a sort of certain way that is instantly recognizable is a way of putting each other at ease. You know that you're not going to get, you know, and you know you're not dealing with a woman who's going to try and betray you or whatever it is. You know, if she's performing her gender role, there's a way of facilitating, like a way of sort of ameliorating the power imbalance between the raw physical nature of being male and female. And these things were important, and I think they still are important. I don't think they're ever really going to go away, no matter how. And I think it's really indicative that they're still persistent despite the active campaign against them. You know, I mean, I read an article about these anarchists, and I mean, I don't know how much you know about this sort of stuff, but like. Basically, they want to get rid of everything that they think is a hierarchy, and this also includes gender, obviously. And the female anarchists were complaining that, and this was just great, that they were in the kitchen making Molotov cocktails while the men were in the garden or whatever practicing to throw them. And it's just like they'd just slipped into these gender roles, even though they were trying to eradicate the idea of gender roles. They couldn't help themselves. It's like, look, right, if the anarchists can't even get rid of gender roles, I'm not even going to try. You know, obviously they're there for a reason, and I just accept it, you know.
That's hilarious.
These people are fucking nuts.
Well, that's because, I mean, do you believe that it comes down to, like, a whole genetic DNA thing? It's just, you, like, I mean, and this has pissed a lot of people off to the point that people think I'm homophobic, but, I keep saying if gays were so happy, they wouldn't be fighting so hard to convince me to accept them.
I think there are a lot of, like, the right-wing gays don't tend to give a fuck who accepts them and don't, or not.
Oh yeah, I say our gays are a lot tougher than your gays.
Yeah. The left-wing gays are very feminine.
Yeah, like I'm like Milo could kick your ass. Do not let me get Milo.
Yeah. He's not weird and needy, you know, or at least in that way. And like, I mean, like in ancient Greece, like homosexuality was ultra masculine. These guys were, you know, manliness was the name of the game with that, and it's still quite like that for like a lot of right wing gays, but for the left wing gays, it seems they're very feminine, and it's like, well, I mean, again, live and let live. If that's what you want, then go for it. But it's I don't know. I just think these things, like gender roles, are inevitable. I think. There's definitely a biological imperative that is being satisfied with gender roles. I think that, I mean, like, okay, so one of the things that like the feminists and the far left and whatnot will say is like, well, gender is just a social construct, right? And when they say that, they're correct. It is socially constructed that, you know, you might pull a chair out for a woman to sit down. That's a social construct. You know, you know that you're supposed to call her like 2 days after a date or something, you know, and see if she wants to arrange another date or something like that. You know, it is socially constructed, but that doesn't mean there isn't like a biological reason for the social construct to exist. And I think that there is. You know, I mean, like in Saudi Arabia, the women walk 10 paces behind the men and stuff like this. That's socially constructed, but it's still it's still about the biological roles that each one are fulfilling, even though they're doing it in different ways. So the idea that you can like divorce the gender role from the biological necessity is wrong, in my opinion. I don't think that's correct.
I mean, and honestly, I just believe that this is just pushing. It's causing people to not catch. That's probably develop mental illness. Like, look at these. Look at these children. These cross-dressing children. Or these children that are being pushed into becoming transgendered. Like, first of all, how the hell do you know at 3 you were supposed to be shit? You were supposed to be a girl.
Shit. Yeah, this is something the British government's been doing. Yeah, there have been a marked increase of 4, 5, and 6-year-old children who apparently are quote unquote transgender. It's like, fuck off. You know, a kid wearing a dress at 4 years old does not mean they think they want to be a girl. It means that they wanted to wear a dress. That's it, you know?
Then again, I mean, when I was 5 years old in kindergarten, and you know, the teacher's assistant, Miss Gladys, I had a huge crush on her. Still do, Miss Gladys, if you're listening, call me. Call me. I am 34. I am well over the legal age, and I know how to work it. So.
I when I was in kindergarten, I remember being like 4 or 5, and I remember having a girlfriend called Rebecca. And And we used to sit together in like the sort of recess time, I guess. But I don't remember any details. But I just remember having a girlfriend called Rebecca at that time. Don't even know why.
I like a girl named Becky.
Basically,
yeah.
But yeah,
you know what girl name is really disgusting, and I would never date.
Go on.
Akilah Hughes. That is the disgusting name, and that actually any girl that's named Akilah Hughes, I think by state law would be officially recognized as a twat.
I just want to say that I'm sure there are many lovely ladies called Akilah Hughes, and that's my final opinion on it.
And they cannot be. In fact, they're not good enough to cook me my breakfast. To me, you're not a good enough woman. So Akilah Hughes, do me a favor, drink some vodka and drive really fast. So
No. Come on, let's. The thing is, I'm sure she's not a bad person or anything.
Oh no, she's not a bad person. She's a horrible person.
See, I can't say any of this.
The views expressed by Louis B are not shared by Sargon-of-akaad and his sponsors.
I disavow.
He disavow. I've been disavowed. I'm the Richard Spencer of the show now.
There's still a part of me that thinks Richard Spencer's controlled opposition to the alt-right. It just I'm not alt-right, obviously.
I mean,
but
especially when a lot of people keep saying that he is a socialist, though.
He is, yeah.
I mean, he's not he's not really right wing. It's just he's a leftist, but for just whites.
Well, one of the things that the sort of Marxists will try and make you believe is that the Nazis weren't socialists, and it's like, no, they were socialists.
Yeah.
They absolutely were socialists. And
it's in the name.
I don't want to say that Richard Spencer's a Nazi, but his views are not radically different to those views. And he's very much a socialist in many ways, and he's big into German. I watched a presentation with him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm a big fan of German idealism and stuff like this." And it's like, oh, God, really? I know where you're going with this, Richard. You're a racial identitarian. You're big on German idealism. You think that big government's a good idea. Taking care of people, socialism, that's a pretty good idea. Yeah, I see where you're going with this. It's not a good place either.
Only when it comes to people with the same shade as me.
Yeah. Literally. I mean, do you know? I hate all of this race stuff. This is why, I constantly have conversations with the alt-right because I'm not afraid of talking to anyone, And I'm just sitting there saying to them, look, you guys are very much like social justice warriors for white people. And they're like, no, we're nothing like the social justice warriors. Like, no, you are. Oh, God, my son's woken up again. Give me 2 seconds.
Alrighty. I heard the boy in the background. So, alrighty, let me just 9 2. So he's like to give a big shout out to Political Woodstock. Louis eats though well. I don't know what that means. We got Apocalypse. He's in the chat room. How you guys doing? I'd like to thank everyone that's listening right now. You can always chat. We got a chat room if you're listening, or send me a message if you, however you're listening to the show. I'm also taking text messages at 347-927-6824. That's 347-927-6824. Just text messages right now because we're having some technical difficulties, so I don't wanna fuck it up here. So, but while we're going, let me play this quick commercial. Help the Crowd Shout Radio Show grow and thrive by doing something you already do. Shop on Amazon. Amazon always has great deals for whatever you are looking for, from survivalists and riot gear to beanie babies. Next time you're going to shop at Amazon, use my link. The prices stay the same, but I get credit for the sale. Just go to tinyurl.com/LouisB and just shop normally, knowing that you're helping support the Crotch Shot Radio Show. That's tinyurl.com/LouisB. All right, we're back.
Hang on, we're back.
Yay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, and now it's all right.
Yeah, the thing with like it's like Richard Spencer and the alt-right, those sort of types, is that they don't seem to realize how similar to the social justice warriors they are. I mean, like my main problem with the social justice warriors is the fact that they'll sit there and they'll attack white people constantly. It's like, dude, I'm not for attacking anyone for their race at all, ever. You know, I don't think a person's race is a valid thing to bring up in a conversation. Like, hey, you're white. Yeah. You know, I would never turn around. You know, I'm fully on the Martin Luther King fucking train. You know what I mean? So I judge them by the content of the character, not the color of their skin. And so when like the alt-right come along and go, yeah, so we're basically White Lives Matter. It's like, well, fuck me. I'm not in favor of that either, dummies. You know, and they don't seem to understand. They're just like an interest group for white people in the same way that Black Lives Matter are an interest group for black people.
Yeah, it almost reminds me of this. You've heard of the Black Israelites, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, there's another group that is similar to them, but it's like they're like the same size. They're like different sizes of the same coin. It's called Christian Identity, where it's white people that believe that they're the original tribe, part of the original tribe of Israel.
Yeah, which I'm sure they are.
Like they believe the same exact thing, but except it's well. I mean, according to Black Israelites, even Puerto Ricans are part of the tribe of Israel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I just hate all this identitarian stuff. You know, it's like, because I mean, like if you're gonna say I'm a woman, I'm white, I'm black, you know, any of these things. Okay, what you're telling me is you literally have no fucking achievements whatsoever. You know, because I would say, you know, I would talk about the things I have achieved, the things I do, the things that I had a whole role in shaping. You know, but when someone's like, oh, you know, Richard Spencer, I'm proud to be white. It's like, you were born white. You've literally achieved nothing since you were a baby when you say, I'm proud to be white.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even your choice. You know, it's like saying, I'm proud that I've got brown hair. It's like, great, good for you. Brown hair people matter. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of annoys me, like when it comes to like comics that do something similar, like George Lopez and Gabriel Iglesias, when they all focus on their Spanish heritage.
Yeah, yeah. It's exactly the same kind of nonsense. It's like, yeah, but what does this mean?
Yeah, it's like, okay, we get it. You're Mexican. Okay, fine.
Yeah, right.
Like me, like again, I'm Puerto Rican, but when I do my jokes, they are based on my personal experiences, my observations. Yeah. Even though I've been told, hey, people want to hear what it's like to be a Puerto Rican. I mean, it's pretty much what it's like to be Scottish, I guess. What it's like to be Iraqi. You know, it's just like there's a type of food. They have different type of food. There's a different type of music, a special type of dance. Except we're the best.
but this is the thing, isn't it? It's like literally everyone thinks that about themselves. So it's like, okay, there's nothing to talk about there. You know, I mean, I like ironic nationalism because it's funny, because it's dumb. You know, it's dumb. It's like, yeah, I'm so proud of being English. It's like, well, yeah. In a dumb way, not something I would ever seriously say to someone as a serious argument, you know. And the thing is, like, and this is another thing that pissed me off as well. It's like the individual differences between people are so much more important. Like, like you know who Jordan Peterson is, right?
Yes.
Like he always just to diffuse this whole thing. He's just like, okay, answer me this: would you rather be a minority or would you rather be ugly? Naturally, everyone says they'd rather be a minority.
Exactly.
You know, it's way worse to be ugly than it is to not be white or not be, you know, the dominant race or gender or whatever it is. You know, it's better to not be ugly, and that tells you everything you need to fucking know. You know, it's like you can sit there and whine about race and gender and all this, but at the end of the day, your personal characteristics, whether you're tall, you're short, you're intelligent, you're dumb, you know, you're fat, you're thin, you're ugly, you're beautiful, these are way more important than the other things.
Yeah, I mean, that's another guy that the left is just afraid to let speak, and when you listen to him, it's like, what's he saying that's so wrong? I mean, what's he saying that could be even misconstrued as hateful, yet they censor this man everywhere he speaks.
Oh, that's another thing as well. I love the mind reading ability of the left.
Oh yeah.
So you hate something. You don't know me. You know, you can't can't tell me what I hate. I'll tell you what I hate, and it's, you know, whatever. It's, you know, but it's not women, it's not black people, it's not, you know, gay people, it's none of these things. And yet you will accuse me of those things anyway. And then you'll use words like phobia. It's like, hang on, a phobia is an irrational fear. If I'm phobic about something, you can't blame me for that. You know, I didn't make that choice. It was just something that was a part of me. So your accusation at me exonerates me anyway. Seriously, they just don't think about the terms they're using.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's so dumb.
Like I said again when I was talking about Antifa, like, I wish someone would try to come at me and call me a white supremacist. I'm like, yeah okay, that'll work. Like, call me an anti-Semite. I dare you. I will use it against you. Like, when I was going after that Antifa leader, Spencer Sunshine, one of his friends tries to come after me, and I immediately used the race card. I'm like, I'm sorry, boss. I goes back to the plantations. I go back to the plantations. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to speak side of turns. It's like,
that's the thing. It's like, one thing that they can't win an argument with Richard Spencer. That's the thing that is the most telling about all of it, right? Because
which is sad, really.
It's not even that. It's they're not equipped to win an argument with Richard Spencer, because if someone comes to you and says you're a racist, you hate black people, you're like, but I don't hate black people. I think, you know, I don't know whether you think racism is bad or not, but I'm just going to assume you do, obviously. Yeah.
I have black blood in me. What do you think? What do you think modern Puerto Ricans are? Well, okay. Well, I guess you think it's okay to be racist. All right. Well, then. Yeah. Damn.
And that's why he's just like them. They think it's okay to be racist to white people, and it's okay. You know, you guys are both fucking awful in my books, because I don't think it's okay to be racist to anyone.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's kind of funny because the only time anyone's been racist towards me has been from a leftist.
Yeah.
I especially in the comedy community. From
full of SJWs, right?
Yeah, of course, especially in New York City, and a lot of them are not even from here. They moved from other states, and they came here to be liberal, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And they come to dictate how I should act as a Hispanic person, as a person.
Yeah. Let me tell you about the Hispanic stereotype I have in my head that you're not conforming to.
Exactly. Like there was this one comic that didn't agree with me supporting Trump, called me a race traitor.
Oh, that is my favorite fucking term.
I'm like, but you're white. How are
Imagine.
How are you calling me a race traitor? How am I supposed to act as a Puerto Rican? Like, how do you know? How are you supposed to tell me? Like, honestly, it would be quicker for you to call me a nigger.
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? Like, I saw a post going around the other day on Facebook from a left-wing site. I can't remember what it was called, a left-wing group, where they were calling Thomas Sowell Uncle Thomas Sowell. And it was like he was just telling white people what they wanted to hear so he could earn money. It's like, have you read a single thing by the man? I mean, the man's genius, you know. And for anyone who doesn't know, he's a black conservative intellectual. You know, he's been doing it for like 40, 50 years. The man is clearly a genius. He's written so many books, and they never address a goddamn word he says. They just call him an Uncle Tom, and it's like, that pisses me off, man, because you can tell he's putting so much work in his career, and all they can just dismiss it all by saying, well, you're a race traitor. It's like,
it's just lazy. It's pure laziness. Hold on. I actually took a screenshot of it. Let me send it to you. Of the like I wanted, like, he blocked me before I could respond, but I was like, I really wanted to let him have. There you go. Send it to you on Skype.
Yeah, okay, I'll check it out.
And wanna get you to read that so that way you want to get your
reaction. It hasn't come up. Can you send me on Facebook?
I just did.
Oh, on Facebook.
Yes.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, yeah, got it. Dang, I was rooting for you, being a comedy outcast and all, but you really are a short-minded, flannel-shirted, goose-stepping, heritage-hating, transphobic fuckhead. Am I right? sad. There are thousands of transgendered folks braver than you to serve, and who are you serving right now? Oh, you're serving Massa, aren't you? That's what you're doing. I see what he's saying. You shitting on them only makes me want to shit on you. I sincerely hope the hottest girl I've ever seen has a dick and beats the shit out of you. Well, that's the empathetic left for you.
Mm-hmm.
What an empathetic guy. I mean, is this a white guy as well saying this?
Yes.
So he's shitting on a person of colour, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
What? It's amazing, isn't it? It's like they're like, I'm against racism, but I tell you what, fucking little house Negro, if you step out of line, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to be as racist as I can to you.
Yeah.
God, I fucking hate these
And
people.
of course he blocks me after he says that, and I'm like, oh yeah. Of course.
Yeah, of course he fucking does. Jesus.
Of course.
This is the sort of thing it just drives me crazy, because you get this all the time where you get white people telling non-white people that they are not being non-white people correctly. And it's like, dude, that is so textbook. The textbook definition of racism. I have a stereotype of what a non-white person is in my head, and you don't fill it, and therefore you're wrong. It's not.
Like, also, like, I was at the May Day rally counter-protesting with the Proud Boys back earlier this year, and there was this a female comic who actually was one of Mo Bob's friends until he got accused of rape and she had to go to therapy. But she's a Black Lives Matter, socialist, part of Antifa, and she took a picture of me, and I wasn't throwing a Nazi salute, but she posts it. She posts on Facebook, oh, he was standing with Nazis throwing Nazi salutes, but I didn't catch him because he saw me before I could take his picture. I'm like, what?
Proud Boys are Nazi.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'd say that, but literally anyone's a fucking Nazi. These people, aren't they? Yeah.
Oh goodness, the sound is going out again. I don't know why is it doing that.
Well, I tell you, it's gone 3 in the morning here, so I think I'm going to head off and crash.
Right. So I'd like to thank Sargon-of-akaad for coming on. Please follow him on his YouTube. Again, his stuff is very well researched. In fact, support him on Patreon because, of course, the YouTube hates free speech. I mean, all these social media sites hate free speech. Even like I just got out of a 30-day Twitter, Facebook jail because I made a joke talking about how I think bisexuals are as disgusting as a woman would find me disgusting if I ate a whole pizza pie by myself and I washed it down with a glass of AIDS.
It's pretty edgy. I can see why they banned you.
And I'm like, it's not, but it wasn't hateful.
I can see why they would think it is.
Yeah,
it's like they've been really cracking down recently.
Yeah, but but definitely like Sargon, you're welcome to come on anytime you want. I mean, you have an open invitation. You're great. I mean,
thanks.
You are as Alex likes to call himself. You're the tip of the spear. By the way, please support the broadcast by buying my penis pills. If you want a bigger dick, please get InfoWars Dick Medicine. That's InfoWars Dick Medicine. We're having them at 50% off. The answer to 1983 is 1995.
I fucking love Alex Jones. I'm actually going to be doing some live shows. I'll probably do one in New York at some point.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I'll give you a shout if I'm out that way, man.
Yeah, man.
We're going to get a bit.
All right, man. Thank you. All right, that was Sargon-of-akaad, and I'd like to thank everyone for listening. However you're listening to watching the show, please smash that like button. Please tell your friends and family. I also please help me out by shopping at Amazon using my Amazon link at tinyurl.com/LouisB. And again, I'd like to thank everyone for listening. This has been the Crotch Out Radio Show. I've been Louis B. And as always, from my house to your house, mahalo.
That's the end of my show. Donk.
Help the Crowd Shot Radio Show grow and thrive by doing something you already do. Shop on Amazon. Amazon always has great deals for whatever you are looking for. From survivalists and riot gear to beanie babies. Next time you're going to shop at Amazon, use my link. The prices stay the same, but I get credit for the sale. Just go to tinyurl.com/LouisB and just shop normally, knowing that you're helping support the Crotch Shot Radio Show. That's tinyurl.com/LouisB.